I'm Eric Cortina, and Barndominiums are my business. It's 1:30 a.m. We're pouring concrete again. The pour is starting at 4 a.m. I like to start really early because multiple reasons. One, there's no traffic, so the concrete trucks can get there back to back, not a problem, okay? Number two, it's cooler. Concrete you want to pour when it's as cool as possible. Obviously you don't want it to be freezing, but the slower the concrete dries, the better off you're going to be. You're going to end up with a much better product. And number three, we get to go home early. Anyway, see you at the job site. Well, my truck just broke down. It's 1:45, so I didn't make it very far from the house, and got to a stoplight and it just died out on me. So I'm pulling the finishing trailer. I text Manuel, told him to call me when he wakes up. The pour is at 4 a.m. so we don't have much time. I hope he calls me soon. I don't know what's going on. I drive a 6.0, which as many of you know is not a very desirable engine. However, mine has been all bulletproof and all the good stuff. However, about a month ago, I pretty much blew up the motor in my truck. It had a injector, the tip broke off. It melted a piston. It literally melted the piston. Once the piston melted, it broke the connecting rod. Long story short, that engine was no good. I had another engine put in it, and it's been running great. However, these 6.0s have what's called an IPR, and it's a valve that literally controls the pressure for the injectors. It has a screen in the front, obviously, to keep debris from getting in it, but it is very sensitive. Any debris gets in there, the valve will stick open and it will no longer build pressure. It'll actually stay running as long as you do not let off the throttle. And when I got to the traffic light, I let off the throttle and the truck died out. So that tells me that that's the IPR. It's pretty much all I have to do is replace the IPR and it'll work. However, it is 2 in the morning. There's no place for me to get an IPR. You know, I don't have time to get one. So like I said, I called Manuel, or I text him. Hopefully he calls me soon. He can come over here. He can get me and the trailer, and after the pour is done, I'll pick up an IPR, I'll replace it, and the truck should be good to go. So that's the plan. Again, right now my priority is to get this trailer to the job site because we need to pour that concrete. All right, here comes Manuel. So we lost about an hour, but we still can make it on time. I already called the finishers, told them what's going on. They're gonna bring their own tools, enough to get started anyway. So we'll get there as soon as possible. All right, just. All right, let's go, man. Let's go. All right, so Manuel came to save the day, or the morning. All right, let's try again. Came back to the house. Manuel already took off with the trailer, and I got in Dora. So it is 3:30. The job site's about an hour and 15 minutes away. The trucks are gonna be there in 30 minutes. I already talked to my finishers, and they're gonna get started without me. They have enough tools that they don't need me for a good while. But anyway, Manuel should be there right about 4:15, 4:30. So we're gonna be about 30 minutes late. Obviously, assuming nothing else goes wrong. Anyway, see you at the job site. All right, so I made it to the job site. It is 4:42 a.m. Manuel just pulled up with the trailer, so so far so good. It's already been a long day for me, but that's part of it.
A little late, but we're here, right?
Yeah, we're here. It's going pretty good. We got most of it. Well, we got the main slab poured out, and we're gonna send the truck home, and we're gonna tailgate the rest. Right now, me and Manny are gonna go get the guys something to eat. We're gonna go into town. Hondo's the closest town, so we're gonna go in there and get them something to eat. Did you see if we had any sky hooks in the trailer?
Sky hooks?
Yeah, it's to put the trowel machines on the slab. Call the hardware store in Hondo, see if they have any sky hooks.
Hey Randy, I was calling to ask if y'all had any sky hooks available. Sky hooks? Yes, ma'am. They're two, well, they're hooks that hook onto like concrete trowel machines, so we can put them onto concrete slabs that we're pouring. No? Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. Bye. Well, looks like they don't have any. So, there's True Value, but they don't open until 8.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go get the tacos, and then we'll check on the other lumber yard, see if they have any sky hooks. Alrighty. So we're gonna go get something to eat, and Manuel's gonna try to find us some sky hooks because we're all out. See you shortly.
Thank you for calling home. Can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I was calling to ask if y'all had any sky hooks available.
Any what?
Sky hooks?
Sky hooks.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm too sure what's a sky hook.
Sky hook. They're like hooks that you hook onto concrete trowel machines, so we can place them on the concrete slabs to smooth them out.
You'd have to come in and look. We've got lots of hooks, but I don't know which one would be called.
What about beam stretchers?
Do you have any beam stretchers?
Beam stretchers?
Yes, ma'am.
No, that's like more like in lumber yards, maybe.
Okay.
What about a breast magnet?
Do you have any breast magnets?
Any what? Breast magnet? Is that what you said?
Ma'am, he just started.
You don't need to just come in and look, okay?
All right, thank you. He said it. He said he asked for a breast magnet.
I figured just like, wait, what?
All right, so sky hook doesn't exist. It's a hook from the sky. A beam stretcher. You asked for a beam stretcher. How are you going to stretch a beam?
You were asking for it, so I figured it existed.
Oh man, I lost it at breast magnet when he asked for breast magnet. Even the lady's like, what? Oh, good times, good times. Good times, Manuel. Good times.
Good laugh.
All right, so as you guys can see, we have it all poured out. And of course, he's running the bump cutter, making sure it's nice and flat. You can see there's a lot of bleed water on the surface. And of course, you can push it off with a bump cutter. So that's very helpful. As you know, you should not get on the slab with the trowel machine until all the bleed water is gone. This morning was in the 50s, low 50s, so this concrete's going to be a while before it's ready. But again, you can use a bump cutter to flatten your slab and push off the bleed water at the same time. Of course, Manuel, he knows now what a beam stretcher is, a breast magnet, and a sky hook.
We're gonna get the sky hooks right now once we start putting on the trowel machines. So
Yeah. Well, make sure you get the sky hooks.
yeah, we put the beam stretchers in there already before we place the concrete, you know. And with the brass magnet,
Yeah.
couldn't find anything, so.
Anyway. All right, let's get serious now. Hey, we gotta check these plates.
Check the plates.
I gotta go to the door. I got a 2-foot level in that. It's in the glove compartment. Yeah. It's a 2-footer. Do what?
How are you gonna fit a 2-foot level on the glove compartment?
Exactly. It's like the sky hook thing. Come on.
You don't need a level.
No, I don't need a level. How the hell am I gonna put a 2-foot level in the glove box?
You said this time to get serious.
I know. Well, of course I had to.
Come on. We've been up since like 1:30.
I know. We've been up since early, but you gotta stay alert.
How many blinker fluid do you? I need some for my truck.
Yeah, you know about the blinker fluid. All right, I'm gonna leave them alone now. That's the last one. All right, I promise. For today. That's the last one.
Missing the muffler bearing.
That's the last one. Anyway, as we watch concrete dry, I'm having a little fun over here with Manuel. Sorry, man. You have to learn all these things. Next time we have another FMG, then you get to play those jokes on him or her.
All right, so you guys have seen enough concrete pours that me and Manny are gonna take off. We're gonna go take care of my truck. We're gonna pull it back to the shop, and we're gonna replace that IPR, and that'll get it up and running. And I'm gonna leave these guys here. They're gonna take care of the slab, and all is gonna be well. All right, so we made it back to the shop. Manuel's gonna take me back to where we left the truck this morning, and we're gonna tow it home. I already have the part with me, so I'm gonna bring it home. We're gonna fix it. Well, we're gonna change the part. I'm almost 95% sure that's gonna fix it. If it doesn't, then I guess we tow it to the shop, but I'm almost 100% sure that it's gonna fix it. So we're gonna go get that. My wife also met with, if you guys remember, we planted a lot of trees in the spring or last summer. I don't remember when we did it. Right there. Well, that's what they used to be because they dried up. Most of them dried up. My wife met with a tree expert this morning because we're gonna try it again. We're gonna attempt to get them planted again, and the ones that are in, we're gonna make sure that they're nice and healthy. And they gave her some bad news. The guy that we had plant these trees, we asked him to plant Monterey oaks. Obviously we don't know the difference. Well, he planted bur oaks. They're not a bad tree, however they are not fast growing, which is the main requirement that we had. So anyway, that's another thing that we're dealing with. I'm gonna go get the truck, and I will fill you in more on the tree dilemma on a separate episode. All right, so we just got the truck to the shop. I'm gonna show you how I set up the strap. You see I looped it from my truck to here, and on the hitch, obviously you want to be able to, leave it to where it'll slide, so that it'll apply even tension. Now what I did here, I simply went in front of this ball and around these two, and that's all it needs. Okay, now here it's hard to put a knot on here because they're going to tighten up, right? So this is all I did, and I'll show you. We just got here. You can see it looks pretty tight, but all you have to do is pull on it. Pull this way. All you got to do is pull on it, and you're done. So anyway, the way you do it is you go through here, go past it, and then here, and you simply pull it back through. That's all it needs, right there. Okay? It's gonna pull, and it's gonna pull tight, and then you can simply pull here, and it's done. Okay? So that's how you set up a strap so you can tow. So the IPR sits back here, kind of next to the turbo, behind the engine. I can remove all this to get to it, and typically that's how I have to do it. But my brother, he has skinny arms like Manuel does. He can get to it from the back of the engine. So before I remove any of this, I told Manuel how my brother does it, and that's what he's attempting to do right now. All right, so I pulled out the IPR. This is the IPR. This is the injector pressure regulator, and as you can see right there, there's a hole in it. So something was able to get in there, which then causes the IPR to stick open and lose pressure. So I just installed a new one, and with Manuel's help. And now we're gonna fire it up, see if it'll run. So she's good to go again. So I'm gonna go ahead at this point and change the oil filter and clean out this secondary filter that I have here to make sure that we don't have any more debris going that way. So this is a 6.0 Power Stroke. The reason I have this external oil filter is because I have air to liquid coolers out in the front. I did away with the factory oil cooler. And of course these are my hoses that go back in, and like I said, this is a secondary oil filter that I have to trap any debris. So something got past it and obviously it clogged the IPR, so now I'm gonna work on this. All right, so this is the filter I'm going to remove. I put a oil pan down there, and so I'm gonna loosen it. Oil's gonna go straight down and we're gonna catch it down there. So I like to change my own oil on my trucks because, believe it or not, I have a hard time trusting someone else to do it for me. It's based on past experience. My brother had an oil change done, and believe it or not, but they were not gonna put their highest paid mechanic on your oil change. So what they ended up doing is they didn't put enough oil. Of course, my brother didn't check it because he just got an oil change, right? It should be right. So he didn't check the his oil, and it took out his lifters. So, you know, that cost him a few $1,000s. So I like to do my own oil changes. So I keep plenty of oil filters, keep plenty of oil. I buy bulk oil. I put in my own additives, so I end up getting much better service, obviously, because I do it, and much better oil because you know, I know what's in there, and I know the types of additives that I put in there. Also, a lot of times I'll get home at 9 p.m. and if the truck needs an oil change, I'll just do an oil change. It takes me about 15-20 minutes. Versus if I have to make the time to go somewhere and get an oil change, number one, I have to go during their business hours. Number two, I have to go and sit there for about an hour, depending how busy they are, before they give me an oil change. I'd rather just do it myself and be done with it. Don't forget to change out the oil ring. We're gonna put a new filter on here. Don't forget the oil ring. Very important. Always lube your oil ring. So just take some oil, new or used, but obviously I prefer new. Put it on here. Set this down so I don't kick it. Put it on there. Obviously your truck is not gonna have this setup, but if it does, do it that way. And of course, spin it by hand. By the way, these oil filters are much better than what comes in this truck originally. Much bigger too. So tighten it by hand. That's all you need right there. Okay, and then what I do, I like to write the mileage on here that I had when I changed the oil filter, or when I changed the oil, and that allows me to keep track of it. So that's that. I'm gonna take this one off now, clean it out, make sure it's clean, and then I'm gonna put it all back together and start the truck, run it for a little while, turn it back off, and top off the oil. This oil change only has about, like I said, we just put this engine in here, so it's only about 1,000 miles. So I'm not gonna change the oil this time, just gonna change all the filters. All right, so I pulled this filter off and cleaned it out. It had a lot of junk in here. So the filter is doing its job, but obviously some of it got through, and that's what clogged up the IPR. But clean it out now, put a new filter in here, and so I'm gonna run it for about a day or two, and then I'm gonna take this one off again and see if it's catching any more junk. Hopefully that's the end of it, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore. But I'm gonna clean out that IPR and put it in the truck just in case
then I can have a spare. I know today you didn't get to see us do much construction. I mean, we poured concrete, but you've seen a lot of that already, so you shouldn't miss it too much. But you got to see what we went through today. Manuel, it's almost 2 p.m. and he has to go to school. He has class at 3:30, so he got up at 1 a.m. So this is really gonna test his will, I think. He'll be fine, he's young. But anyway, just interesting that I know he's gonna be tired. So on the way here, I told him to take a power nap. I hope he did. Did you take a power nap? So he took a power nap, and right now he probably should take another one before he goes to school. So anyway, we'll see you next time. We are Texas Barndominiums.